God called me when I was 26 years of age, sitting in a room at the Air Force Academy in Colorado. I'd been to church that night, and the preacher was preaching, and he gave an altar call for people who wanted to be converted or receive the baptism. And I went down not to ask for anything at the conclusion, just to pray. And I said, Lord, I need you. You're in my heart, you're in my soul, but I don't know which way to go. I feel a tugging, but I don't know what it's all about. And actually, I grew up in Pentecost. My daddy was a minister. My grandfather was a minister. And I knew about the baptism of the Holy Spirit, but I never did see the need to seek for the Spirit. I knew that the Spirit came into me when I became a Christian. But yet I didn't have that infilling that I needed for my life. And that night before I got on my bed, I was having my devotion, and I said, Lord, I'm open to anything that you have for me. And I went to sleep, but at 2 o'clock that morning, I awakened speaking in a heavenly language. And God once again reaffirmed that you're my chosen vessel. I want you to preach my word. I resigned from the Air Force Academy and went to Lee University. And I'd come home on the weekends. Daddy was pastoring at Wilmington at the Pine Valley Church of God then. And I'd drive by my sister's house, and going home to Wilmington, I go up the old road where there was nothing there on 7th Avenue, which is now Garrison Boulevard. And I see a little red church there, and I knew that in 1957 that they'd started another church there, a denomination had. I tell my dad every time I go down, because he's on the state council, I say, Dad, if that little 7th Avenue Church of God ever comes open again, tell those, sir, I want to go. And he'd say, I'll think about it. Last time I asked him, he said, Paul said, that church, the lady who's there will never leave. So she's doing great. And said, might as well forget it. But little did I know that in just a few months from that she left the church and the members went with her. And it stood open for 4 months. A group of pastors or preachers will go by and try out, but then they finally voted to close the door. I didn't know that. So I went to the state officer, Brother Bird, and I said, Brother Bird, you mind if I go to 7th Avenue? And he said, Paul, I think they voted to disband that church. He said, go see Brother Jump. And Brother Jump pastored the Crampton Church of God, and he's the DO, district pastor. And I went over and talked to him, and he said, yes, we voted to close it down, but if you want to try, I said, we got 900 and some ministers in the state, nobody wants it. I said, I'll go. And God helped us, and there was just about 12 people with us that I had got out in the community, and they had come, brought their kids with them. But the church grew and it prospered, and I got married a few months after that to a beautiful lady who's helped me tremendously. And she still helps me tremendously. And, you know, from that point to this point, God took the word can't. There can't be one church there, into one of the best churches, one of the greatest churches in our movement.